Hey guys, so we're gonna work on outside Ashi braking mechanics. A lot of times you guys will catch heels, you try to go for a break, and for some reason the guy just isn't tapping, feels like you're just not able to put enough pressure on him. For whatever reason, you're not able to get the tap. So usually it's one of these three things. So the highest percentage things you could do to make sure that your outside Ashi braking mechanics are very tight are having the forearm in line with the foot, one, having high hands, two, and having hands and chin together during the break. So we'll go through all three of these. So when I get a heel hook, however I did it, I might have exposed him pulling his knee tendon this way and then getting my hand inside. This is good for the initial catch. We're getting his heel onto our wrist bone here. That's how you put it on the watch area of your wrist bone. This is good advice initially. So what you want to do from here though is make sure that, as you can see, my forearm is in line with Juice's lower leg. So if we drew a line, my forearm goes right through the same parallel line as Juice's lower leg. We'd like to change that. We need to be able to pin the foot with our body because we have it as a bottom side leg, which I'll go over in another video, bottom versus top side legs, pinnable versus unpinnable legs. So this is a pinnable leg, meaning that when I get here, I'd like to use my body weight in the break. So if I get Juice's leg, what I'd like to do is shoot for getting his toes in the pad of this pad of his foot in my bicep. So when I go down to the floor, I'm trying to bring my elbow to my rib cage and flare my forearm so that it's facing you guys instead of in line with Juice's leg. So I go like this, and then I fall onto the leg, right? So now my rib cage is pinning the top of his foot, and we're able to grab the heel, bring our forearm over his shin, and we're able to fold it upwards now. So this is gonna make the braking pressure much, much worse on Juice. He can already tell you it feels a lot tighter, right?
Yeah.
So as we get into this position, that's rule number one. We wanna make sure that our forearm is in line with the sole of his foot, not his lower leg, and that we're laying on it. Some people will tell you to break up on the elbow, even though you can get to here. This is still good, but I think it's even better to be pinning the foot so we can really fold it over the body. So now, once we get to this position, the second thing we want to do is make sure we have high hands. Right now my hands are low. If Juice is a really talented heel slipper, what he'll do is he'll point his toes and he'll slip. It's very hard to slip out of that position anyway, but if some people can, they have very flexible ankles. He'll point his toes and push his heel inside and he'll slip it. And now if I'm on my elbow like this, I'm a sitting duck for getting my back taken. He can come up, he can start to take my back. I really have no recourse except to grab the Achilles, and a lot of times it's very difficult because there's no space to do it. So when I get here, what I'd like to do is get the heel, and then I go back down to that position where I put my forearm in line. Juice is already ready to tap, right, just from this. But now what I want to do is bring my hands very high. I want to bring them as high as I can without hurting my partner while we're drilling this. So once I bring my hands high, now there's no chance for Juice to heel slip. It's very difficult. And then when we go to break, this is the third part, we want to make sure that our chin and our hands are together. So our chin and our hands need to be together because there's a very big difference between breaking like this, where when I go to extend and look away from Juice, if my hands and my chin drift apart like this, I'm just using my hands to break. Versus if I had my chin and hands together and I go together, I'm using my entire body to break through the leg, okay? So there's a very big difference between here and here. One takes almost no pressure at all once we have the correct alignment with our chin and our hands. So to recap, we have the foot being folded, laying on it. Our forearm is in line with the foot. We have high hands, chin to hands, and then breaking with chin to hands. Let me know if this helps you with your tap percentage. Thanks.